All right, welcome back everybody to the deep dive. Today we're diving into something really special. Pusha T's It's Almost Dry.
A classic.
This isn't just going to be a music review though, right? We're going deeper.
Uh-huh.
We're talking about the philosophy behind the album.
Yeah, you know, those themes woven into the lyrics and the
The
production.
collaborations, everything.
Oh, absolutely.
So this is really for anyone, I think, who loves, unpacking those like complex narratives, right? Like how does art reflect our lives? Those big questions.
Absolutely.
And It's Almost Dry is like the perfect album for this.
Yeah.
So to start, maybe like the title itself, right? It's almost dry.
Mm.
What do you think? What does that even mean?
You know, it's so interesting, right? Like on the surface, it seems simple, but there's so much packed in there.
Yeah.
It speaks to the creative process, you know, like nearing its end, a sense of like completion almost.
Right.
But there's also this tension, right? Like almost dry. Could it also be a pause before something new?
Oh,
Right. Like, is it a farewell or just a hold on, something else is coming?
I like that. It's that anticipation.
Right.
And thinking about it, the album dropped in 2022. It
Yeah.
was like a time of,
Yeah.
crazy social change, lots of reflection going on in the world.
It was a heavy year.
So do you think it's almost dry? Like, does it tap into that feeling, that kind of collective, like, questioning that was happening?
I definitely think so. You know, I mean, obviously the album is like deeply personal, right? It's Pusha T's story.
Right.
But it resonates with like those bigger anxieties, those bigger questions we are all facing.
Yeah.
It makes you think about like, what are we all striving for? What's the cost of all this, you know?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
How do we even like move forward with all this baggage?
It's heavy stuff.
It is.
But then you've got the music itself, right? Which is, I mean,
Oh, the production.
it's amazing. Like, for longtime fans, it's such a homecoming. You've got Pharrell bringing that, like, signature Neptune sound.
Yeah, it takes you right back.
But then at the same time, it's, like, super fresh,
Yeah.
current.
Yeah. And that's Kanye, right?
Yeah, Kanye on production.
You've got those two like titans of the industry.
And it works.
It works so well. It's like, you know, the perfect blend to satisfy everyone, you know?
Mm-hmm.
The old school fans and those who are like, what's new? What's happening now?
Exactly. And then on top of that, the lyrics.
Oh, yeah.
It's not just like your typical,
Bravado.
bravado. Yeah. Pusha T's like being introspective. There's regret in there.
Yeah.
He's like honest, brutally honest sometimes.
You really feel it. Yeah.
And there's that line in Let the Smokers Shine the Coops, the dope game destroyed my youth.
Oh, man.
That's like a punch to the gut.
It is. Like, it makes you think, right? It's not just, boasting.
Real.
He's like facing the consequences.
Yeah, and it makes you consider, like, how does our past shape who we are?
It's deep.
It is. That's what I love about this album.
Yeah, it's not just a surface level thing. Not at all.
And you know what else adds to that depth? The collaborations.
Oh, they're fantastic. Each one is like a conversation, right? Like adding another layer to the whole philosophy.
Totally. Like, take Neck and Wrist with Jay-Z.
Oh, man.
That energy is just, like...
electric.
It is.
But it's more than just like a rap battle,
Right.
It's like two figures who've lived this life talking about what they've gained, what they've lost.
Mm-hmm.
Jay-Z, with all his experience, he brings this wisdom to it, It becomes this reflection on like, the whole game, the lifestyle.
It's like they're unpacking the meaning of it all.
Exactly.
And then there's Pusha style, right?
Yeah.
That delivery, like so minimal.
Every word counts.
It does. It really does.
It's like that saying, less is more,
Totally. Like sometimes a well-placed like sentence fragment
Yeah.
hits harder than a whole paragraph.
Totally. And it's so authentic,
Yeah.
It's like he doesn't need all the bells and whistles. He's just...
It's powerful.
And then speaking of powerful, let's talk about the production.
Oh, man.
Right. You've got Pharrell and Kanye, two completely different styles.
And they come together.
It's like they took the best of both worlds and made something completely new.
It's crazy how well it works.
It really is. It's like you get that familiar and yet totally unexpected sound.
Yeah, it's like they knew exactly what they were doing.
They did. It's like the production itself is another character.
Yeah.
You've got like Pharrell, right? He brings that eerie kind of experimental vibe.
Yeah.
Like Call My Bluff, that track.
Oh, man, that's such a good example.
Right. Instantly takes you back, that classic clip sound.
Totally.
And then you have Kanye.
Yeah, it's like night and day almost.
Right. Like completely different energy.
Yeah. And it works. It's crazy.
It does. Like, Kanye strips it back, you know? It's almost haunting.
Mm.
Just, so you remember, that one gets me every time.
Oh, yeah.
That, like, sparseness,
Mm.
it makes Pusha's words hit even harder, you know?
It's like there's space for them to breathe.
Exactly.
And it's like, I don't know, it fits with the themes, you know? You have those introspective moments, but then also like that grit, that confidence.
Right. The
It's
duality.
all reflected in the sound.
I think, like, the different soundscapes, they add to the emotional depth.
Oh, for sure.
It's not just one vibe, you know?
Right, it takes you on a journey.
Yeah, exactly.
Speaking of which, like the track list.
Oh, the sequencing is so intentional.
Do you think that was on purpose?
I think it has to be. It's like telling a story.
Yeah.
You start with Brambleton. Right off the bat, Pusha's addressing that past accusation.
Confronting it head on.
Exactly. And then you end with, I pray for you.
Hmm.
It's
That's
like
good.
this moment of resolution, almost
Like a breath out.
a plea for forgiveness, maybe?
Yeah.
It's so powerful.
It's like, you know, conflict and then resolution.
Yeah, that art.
There's like growth there.
Absolutely. It makes you feel like he's been through it, learned from it, and now he's moving on.
Yeah, and that resonates, I think, you know.
Yeah.
Like everyone,
I think so too.
you've got the hardcore hip hop heads who like get the lyrics, the references.
Yeah.
But then also like people who maybe aren't as familiar with Pusha T,
Right.
they can still feel that honesty, that emotion.
Rawness.
Yeah, it's like universal themes, you know? It's bigger than just music.
It is. It's like a cultural touch point almost.
Oh, yeah.
It bridges those gaps, you know? Different generations, different tastes.
That's what makes it special, I think.
I agree. And, you know, it reminds us of what hip-hop can be, right? That power to tell stories, to speak about real stuff.
To make you think.
Exactly. And it's not just, you know, surface level.
Yeah.
Push is going deep. He's exploring, like, the desire for success,
Right.
survival, identity, all that.
Those are the big ones.
They are. And he's using his platform to do it. It's like he's inviting us to question things, too.
And look at the world differently.
And he's doing it with, like, such intention, you know? It's not just music, it's art.
It sticks with you.
It does.
So, like, what do we take away from all this?
Well, I think, like, one thing is that examination of choices, right? Pusha's not afraid to look back to see the cost of his ambition.
Yeah.
And that's something we can all do, right?
That's right.
Be introspective, look at our own lives.
Especially in a world that's, like, constantly moving.
Yeah, it's easy to get swept away.
So it's a reminder to slow down, think about everything.
Yeah, and, you know, going back to that title, it's almost dry.
What about it?
It's, like, not just about the end, is it? It's
Right.
more like a transition.
Oh, it's interesting.
Like between what was and what could be.
A potential, right?
Yeah, like a new beginning.
For Pusha, for us, maybe.
I like that.
Yeah, like there's something powerful in that, right? That almost, it's not finished. It's like still evolving.
And, you know, thinking about Pusha's style, it's so minimal.
Yeah.
Every word counts.
It's like he's saying, hey, less is more.
Exactly. And it makes you think, could that, like, apply to other things too?
Oh, totally. Like not just music.
Right, like our relationships, how we work, even like how we take in information.
Especially nowadays when it's just like information overload.
Right. So much coming at you all the time.
So maybe like stepping back, being more intentional.
Choosing quality over quantity.
Yeah, I like that.
And, you know, that ties back into, like, the album's impact, right?
A soundtrack.
It's not just an ending. It's almost like a challenge.
To do what?
To keep exploring, to keep questioning, to keep digging deeper.
Oh, I see what you mean.
Like, it's not just about the music. It's about how we approach everything.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And it's almost dry. It gives us that framework, you know?
To think critically, to be more mindful.
Exactly. And that's what makes it so powerful.
Well, I think that about wraps up our deep dive into It's Almost Dry.
It's been a journey.
It has. But the conversation doesn't have to end here, right?
No, not at all.
Like, what stuck with you? What are you still thinking about?
Yeah, let us know.
Because that's the beauty of art like this. It stays with you.
It sparks those new ideas, makes you see things differently.
Exactly. So keep those conversations going, keep exploring.
And until next time, keep diving deep.
And keep those minds open.
Absolutely.